So on our channel, I'm sure there's a lot of overlap. I know you guys and gals tune in to see tools, and I'll bet, not that I'm a gun review channel, but I'll bet there's guys out there who like their guns too. And who doesn't like the idea of the best of both worlds? This week, on another Tool Time Tool Review, we're going to talk about the Ramset. I just bought this one made from Remington. Had some time to play with it. I've used them in the past, but if you've never used one of these before, they are certainly the type of tool that would inspire Tim the Toolman Taylor to do some grunts about having more power. So if you're interested in checking this out, hang in with me and we'll be right back. Hey guys, Tim the Toolman Cook back here from All Seasons Maintenance in East Central Alberta, Canada. Welcome back to our channel where we define what it means to be a successful entrepreneur as a modern handyman, where we share tips and tricks, successes and failures on the road to financial freedom. So welcome back. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means? It's time for another Tool Time Gear Review. And like I said, I've got a good one for you. We're going to talk about the Ramset Powder Actuated Tool. So let me get set up, we'll zoom in, and we'll start talking about what exactly this beast is. Alright guys, so if you're anything like me, there's going to come a time when you need to anchor something to concrete. And there are a bunch of different ways to do it. You can drill a hole, use a blue Tapcon screw, use the masonry bit, fasten it down that way. You can use construction adhesive, you can drill it out, put an anchor in, then screw it down with a lag bolt. But I can guarantee you none of them are as satisfying or as much fun as playing with a Ramset. If you've never used one of these, they're officially called a powder actuated tool. They are seriously way too much fun. So with this guy, don't forget to wear your PPE, because you're literally using a projectile style gun, and ear and eye protection for sure. So how does this guy work? Well, right in here, you open this up, you see the little chamber right there. You load one of these blank 22 shells into it. There's 4 different colors. I find the green one has been my best. It seems to be the best power to driving ratio, somewhere in between. Read on the package, because it can drive into cinder block, it can drive into concrete, and it can drive into steel. So find the color you need for the length of fastener that's going to go into the material you're doing. If you don't own one of these and you need to affix wood to concrete, or also apparently steel, how seriously badass is it to use a blank 22? I don't even know if you can call it a blank 22, but use a blank 22 cartridge that literally drives a nail through wood and into concrete. So you can get one of these bad boys at Home Depot in the U.S. and Amazon for around 26 bucks. In Canada, they seem to be a little bit pricier. I don't know, probably regulations or something. $52.88 normally, although I just picked mine up for $10 off at Home Depot. So funny story about this, I usually get my Home Depot orders within a couple of days, but this time it literally took 2 weeks, and I just couldn't wait. I had so much wood I needed to stick to concrete, and I wanted to play with this bad boy. So when it finally came in, I went to my local farm store to get the blank shots and the nails. They took me back to where the Ramsets were, which 2 weeks previous I was told in no uncertain terms they did not carry them, hadn't had them, never had them. And right next to the shots and the nails, with an 1/8 inch of dust right on top of the Ramset, were 2 of these bad boys for 10 bucks cheaper than what I got them at Depot. So sometimes it pays to look, even if you're told they don't have it. So why do I love this tool so much? Well, the reason is it's literally a gun that you actuate by hitting it with a hammer. It doesn't get much more primal than that. You literally put the shell in, bring it down like this, all the way into place, then one more little, there she's sprung in, and then you just smack it with a hammer right there. That's all there is to it. Like I said, 4 different colored shots depending on whether the concrete's old, new, whether it's cinder blocks or solid steel. But I found that the green shots right here, are perfect for about 95% of what I'm doing. There are many different lengths of nails that you can drive in with it. We'll open this guy up so you can see what they look like. That's it right there. They're just a hardened steel nail, and they have this little plastic clip on them. And all that is really for is for centering in the gun. It really does absolutely nothing else other than hold it centered for when you're firing the gun off. So they got 3/4 inch and longer. If you're putting a 2x4 to a wall, I get 2.5 inch nails. If I'm putting 3/4 inch plywood to a floor, I use 1.5 inch nails. The thing is rugged. It shows no sign of wear. You can see I beat on that for half a day. I got some of this footage I'll show you of how much fun it was playing with it and how well it worked in almost every instance. The reviews are great. 4.5 out of 5 star on Amazon. Something I would expect from a company that's been in the firearms company or business as long as they have with Remington, which I think is great. If you're looking for a higher end item, then they do make a handheld version similar to this that is self-actuating, and they make a $150 model that is more similar to a gun. It has a simple trigger pull, so you don't have to hit it with a hammer, so you might save your hands, and apparently it's suppressed, so you can use it without hearing protection, but I think I probably still would. Although I was using this in a room with the door shut and the outside door open, and my wife come and asked when I was going to start firing off the shots because she didn't realize I'd already done it. So if you're not in the same room, it's nowhere near as loud as you might expect it to be. So what are the downsides? There really aren't that many. But first, make sure, I guess one thing you'd want to make sure is to get new shots. I bought these it's hard to tell without the paper in it, but this packaging was a little bit yellowed, and it was I got a few duds, 3 or 4 that didn't fire the way they were, or shouldn't have. So either didn't drive them far enough or just didn't fire at all. So when you're out buying this stuff, try to find, do the old reach to the back of the milk shelf and pull out the freshest carton of milk or the freshest shells, because they do tend to maybe not work quite as well afterwards. And also, when you're using this, you'll see right here, that's where it goes. There's quite a place inside for the spent shell casing to slide back into. So make sure you dump it out like this, because a couple of times I had the spent shell casing go in there, put the new one in, pushed it down, and then just jammed it and made that soft brass a whole mess and had to clean it out. It didn't do any damage to it, just was a real pain in the ass. Now, seriously, I had no problem driving all lengths of nails into old and new concrete and into the side of the cinder blocks. But one thing that I've tried and failed at miserably was I tried to drive it down through the top of cinder blocks into the edges. And every time I did that, I just kept chipping away at the little pieces of cinder block. Wasn't the end of the world, but every tool has its limitations, and this one tends to branch off, kind of goes this way when it tries to go straight down into a narrow piece of concrete. Into the side of cinder blocks or into flat concrete, no problem at all, but don't try to drive a 3/4 inch extra of a nail down into the top of cinder blocks. Just not going to work. So I went and got some of them beautiful Tapcons, drilled them out, snapped it down into place. And as you know, the hole 2 is one thing, and I'm always looking for other uses. Apparently, this can be used as a very effective destructive lock opening tool. So again, just grab a nail, drive it all in, put it onto the lock, hold it tight, hit it with a hammer, and a couple of shots quite often can be done. Just check out some of the videos online, you'll see it. Apparently it works. So beyond that, if you have any need whatsoever to anchor wood to concrete, for $25 plus $10 in hardware, you can't beat it. You're literally good to go. And once you have it, I mean, this setup here will last me quite a while. The only thing I may need to do is buy a few more shot shells once in a while. If you're using the blue Tapcon screws with the included masonry bit, you'll love switching to this. With a Tapcon, I need to pre-drill the wood, then switch out bits, then pre-drill the concrete, then go back to a Robertson bit and drive the screw in. Make sure all the holes line up. This, I can literally do a 16-foot 2x4 with this in the time that I can drill one hole with a Tapcon and be done with it. So guys, if you're looking for a fun tool to play with, and who doesn't love guns? Who doesn't love the idea of a power actuated hammer hit concrete anchor tool? I mean, this thing has been fun. I used one years ago, hadn't had one in a long time, and finally had an excuse to go out and buy one. So here it is. If you're looking to do a little bit of anchoring and you could rent one of these for $15 or $20 for a day's worth of work, or you could buy one for $20-some plus the accessories. So anyway, guys, this one's got the Toolman Cook seal of approval written all over it. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.